Hi, I'm Samantha McDouglas from thebridgeteachers.com. Come look over my shoulder at a defense problem. In advanced bridge, there's a technique called counting the hand. And what this refers to is figuring out the shape or the high card points of the hidden hands. In today's lesson, we're going to focus on figuring out the shape of the west hand. One of our biggest clues when we try to figure out shape is the auction. So let's review the auction. Our partner was the dealer and opened one diamond, showing 3 or more diamonds and an opening hand or better. Our right-hand opponent passed. We bid 1 spade, showing 4 or more spades and 6 or more points. Our left-hand opponent bid 2 hearts, showing 5 or more hearts and 10 to 16 points. And our partner doubled. This is an artificial double called a support double, which shows exactly 3 spades. Our right-hand opponent bid 3 hearts, and everyone passed. Our next clues are going to come from the play of the hand. So watch the next few tricks, and then I'm going to ask you the exact shape of the west hand. We're going to talk about the shape that it was originally and the shape that it is currently. If you need to, pause the video. Remember, this is a real-life hand, so we're going to go through it as it was played without worrying too much about whether mistakes were made or not. Our partner led the ace of diamonds, Declare played the 7, and the person who held our hand played the 2. Our partner now played the king of diamonds, Declare played the 9, we played the 6, and Declare played the 5. Our partner now led the 4, Declare played the queen of diamonds from dummy, we played the 10, and Declare played the king of clubs. At this point, you should have a pretty good picture of the hand, but we're going to keep going. Declare played the 2 of hearts from dummy, we played the 10, they played the king, and partner played the 4. Now they played the 3 of hearts, our partner played the jack, Declare played the queen, and it is our turn to discard. But before we discard, we're going to figure out the exact shape of the west hand. Let's start with the suit that is absolutely known. What was the original distribution of the diamond suit? We knew that Declare had 2 because they followed to 2 tricks and discarded on the 3rd. There were originally 3 in dummy, 4 in our hand, which means that partner had 4. So partner had 4, dummy had 3, we had 4, and Declarer had 2. We know this for certain because Declarer showed out on the 3rd trick. Now, let's talk about the spade suit. And from the spade suit, you're going to need to use the auction. So I'm going to pop it up for you. What is the distribution of the spade suit? Partner showed 3 on the auction. That double shows exactly 3. Dummy has 2. We have 4, which means that Declarer has 4. Now, let's talk about the heart suit. What do we think the original distribution of the heart suit was? It is a near certainty that partner had 2, dummy had 4, we had 1, and therefore Declarer had 6. I would expect that if partner could have won the first heart trick with the ace, they would have done so. Failing that, I would expect them to play the ace on this trick instead of the jack, which means they don't have the ace. The only reason for them to play the jack, which is their highest trump, would be if they didn't have any other trump. I would expect them to play a lower trump if they had one. There might be some exceptions to this if the partnership is playing signals within the trump suit. This partnership is not, and so there would be no signals here. There would be no reason for partner to play the jack if they had a lower heart. So we're assuming they don't have a higher heart. We're assuming they don't have a lower heart, which means they started with 2 hearts. We are obviously making some assumptions here. However, this seems pretty reasonable. And of course, you know your partner and your partnership agreement, so you would feel even more comfortable if this was your partner. So if we think the partner had 2 hearts, we could see 4 in dummy, we had 1. How many did Declarer have to start? 6. So we know the original distribution of the heart suit was 6 in Declarer's hand, 2 in partner's hand, 4 in dummy, and 1 in our hand. So what was the original distribution of the west hand? They had 4 spades, 6 hearts, 2 diamonds, and 1 club. We are fairly certain about this shape. We know the diamonds. We also know the spades 100% because partners showed exactly 3 on the auction. A little bit of conjecture in the heart suit, but we're pretty confident about it. Now that we know the original distribution of the West Hand, what is the current distribution of the West Hand? What cards do they have now? They have 4 hearts. They originally started with 6. They have played 2 because they drew 2 rounds of trump. They don't have any diamonds. If they started with 1 club, they got rid of it. They have no clubs, which means they have their 4 spades. We know they started with 4 spades. They haven't played any spades, so we're pretty confident they have 4 hearts and 4 spades. You might ask, why is this important? Why do you think it's important? The first reason that it's important is it helps us discard on this trick. The next reason we need to know the shape of the West Hand, in particular that they have 4 spades, is because the very next thing they did was lead the Jack of Spades, and now we are faced with a decision of whether to cover or not cover. Let's look at all 4 hands. You may notice that it doesn't really matter what we do here. It doesn't matter that we discarded a spade, and it doesn't matter whether or not we cover the Jack of Spades, as long as the declarer is willing to finesse. And that's because they have only 2 spades in dummy and they have 2 trump. So they're going to win 2 spade tricks and trump the other 2. Sometimes it matters a lot, sometimes it doesn't matter at all. But this technique, figuring out the shape of the hidden hand, is an incredibly valuable technique. This is definitely a skill that takes time to learn, and the only way to get there is practice. So anytime you know a lot about the shape on a hand, give it a chance, see if you can figure out the exact shape of one of the hidden hands. And the same thing with the points. Anytime you have a good sense of the points of one of the hidden hands, that should tell you the strength of the other hidden hand. Thank you. Thank you for making this a fantastic year. There are going to be tons of new videos next year. Like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any.